3 hours of love, sex, and liberty. Choose Emancipation, the album he was born to make.
Hey everyone, Casey Rain here from The Violet Reality. This video is something that I've been looking forward to doing for ages. We wanted to do something about the incredible album that is Emancipation by Prince. We didn't want to do that whole tired thing. What would Emancipation look like if it was one CD? Because that's been done to death. It's just played out. Conversation's been had a million times, and it's really not that interesting. But one thing that is interesting, I think generally Emancipation is considered to be kind of like in the middle ground. Like, it's not generally considered one of Prince's greatest albums nor one of his worst. It's like right there in the middle. But everybody pretty much does agree that if you did strip it down in one way or another, it could be considered one of his best records. But here's the kicker. Nobody agrees on what songs should stay on it and what should go. How can we address this in a really fun way? I got 6 people to pick their top 6 tracks from Emancipation. None of them were allowed to talk to each other because I didn't want anyone to be influenced by anyone else's choices. Let's get 6 people's choices and then see how much ground we cover of those 3 discs. So that makes this our very first collaboration video, and we wanted to get 6 really cool people. So of course the first 2 people are myself and Kim. We didn't discuss our choices with each other. Our first pick was Nightchild. If you're a Prince fan, you've probably seen Nightchild's channel. Makes some amazing stuff. We really love Nightchild's channel. We've met Nightchild at various events that we've done, and Prince stuff happens all across the UK, and he's a great guy. So he was the first person we wanted to pick. Second person, Mr. Ant. You may know Mr. Ant's YouTube channel. He's done quite a lot of collaboration videos with Nightchild, made some incredible videos on his own as well. We really value Mr. Ant in the Prince fan community, so wanted to get his take on it. And then we wanted to switch it up. Of course, we needed more of a female perspective. So we reached out to Vanessa, who runs the PeaceLove and Prince channel, PeaceLove for short. And we wanted to get her 6 choices. And the final choice is a total wild card. So the 6th person in this video, when I was putting it together, I was thinking, how can we make it really diverse? How can we get a really good balance of opinions? And that's when I had the idea. I thought, what if we got someone who loves music and is already a YouTuber and a really great YouTuber as well, but they're not in the Prince space. They're not, and then they don't really know that much about Prince. And what if they'd never even listened to the album? What if we had them listen to the album like for the very first time and pick their 6 songs? So that's what we did. So I would like to introduce all of you watching our channel to JD. JD runs a channel, a Michael Jackson and Beatles channel called History in the Mix. He does a lot of cool videos about MJ, a lot of cool videos about Beatles and Elvis and other music, but he's very, very new to Prince. He'd never listened to Emancipation, never really heard much Prince beyond the big hits. So I just want to say a massive shout out to JD as well, because when I asked him to do it, I was like, this is a 3 CD set. This is like 3 hours. Like, it's no small task to be like, hey, listen to 3 hours of music and of an artist that you don't really know that much about, and tell me what 6 songs that you think are the best. Like, so massive shout out to everyone in this video, particularly JD for being so cool and being down with the idea. Please subscribe to all of their channels. And all right, let's get to it. This video is already going to be very long, so I won't waffle on anymore. Let's just get into it. My first pick is Somebody's Somebody. I just love this song so much. I don't need Prince to always be a pioneer. Now, Prince was often a pioneer, and particularly earlier on in his career, he really created something brand new with the Minneapolis sound and had this incredible run of just defining what pop music looked like. But nobody can maintain that forever. And like, it's just not, his run of doing that was already longer than anyone else's. So that's fine. So I don't need Prince to always do that. What I do need from Prince is to just be the best at whatever it is that he's doing. It doesn't matter if you invented the thing, just do it to an incredibly high standard, which generally he always did. So Somebody to me is that quintessential 90s R&B groove. It just takes the best of like hip hop and contemporary R&B from the 90s and even like Quiet Storm and stuff like that, and just throws it all in there, and just makes an incredible song. So for me, when you think about the best of 90s R&B, whether that's like Jodeci or Guy or Blackstreet or Mary J. Blige or any of that incredible stuff, to me, Somebody is a song that just sits like right up there with the best of 90s R&B.
Hey Kim, hey Casey, thank you for having me over at the Violet Reality. Much appreciation, you guys. So I'm going to start my number one off with song number one. Ooh, everybody's here. This is the jam of the year. Jam of the year, y'all. I love where he says, I got a new Puerto Rican score, and she's doing it on the floor. So it always felt a little personal as I'm jamming to this one.
Hi, I'm the Nightchild, and narrowing down my favourite 6 Emancipation tracks was pretty hard. My first choice, Dreaming About You. On every Prince album there's a dream song, and this is a classic example. Prince has a phenomenal vocal here. It's just superb. He enters with his baritone, he sweeps into a majestic falsetto, and then he brings it down to this sumptuous, sexy, talking voice. It's fantastic. It's got some fantastic lines too, such as, your tongue is a great persuader. Yeah, you got me sold. It's brilliant how the music just whirls around, mesmerising you, bringing you into this trance. It's literally one of those songs you need to listen to with headphones and your eyes closed in a dark room. This song just really lifts and it creates an atmosphere that is just unlike anything else. It moves, swirls, romances your head, just moves you about into different stratosphere. It's almost like a kind of drug-like experience. It's like a trance. It's phenomenal. It's just one of those songs you listen to and you realise the true depth and range of Prince's phenomenal talent. It really is quite different to the songs most people are used to. My first choice, Dreaming About You.
Hi, Mr. Ants here. I want to give a massive thank you to the Violet Reality for asking me to be on this video to pick my 6 favourite tracks on the Emancipation album. So without further ado, let's get into my selections. So my first pick is the stunning, beautiful Holy River from Disc 2. I just love this track. It's amazing. There are several tracks on this album that are so personal to me. This is number 1. I've said it before. This is the track that I played when I proposed to my girlfriend, now my wife. That's how much it means to me. It's just a beautiful track. Prince being so honest and open, as he is in a lot of songs on Emancipation, just talking about how he was as a person with women before and how he's changed so much now. He was in love with Maite, now he wanted to get married, and I just love it. Some of the lyrics in there, you know, when Prince says, can't call nobody because they tell you straight up, come on, make love when you really hate it. Relationships based on the physical, over and done. You know, just brilliant. And then of course the brilliant line, which I timed so it came on, you know. I went on down to the Holy River. I called my girl. I told her I had something to give her. I asked her to marry me. She said yes and cried. I mean, oh, wow. It's a beautiful track. It has a stunning guitar solo at the end, which just soars. And Prince is brilliant at wringing emotion out of his guitar. I've said that before. It's just, it's a great track. I just love the Holy River so much.
Hey, Kim Camilia here. And when I was first asked to take part in this project, I was like, oh my God, yes, absolutely 100%, because this beautiful album right here, Emancipation, is my most favorite Prince album of all time. And I thought, because I grew up with this album and it became my favorite album in this exact room, I was like, what would be a better place than to film this in my childhood bedroom? So welcome, there you go. So here's where we're going to start off with my very first pick of the songs that I picked for Emancipation. My first pick would be Soul Sanctuary, because I think it's the absolutely most beautiful song on the entire album. Like, the lyrics are so wholesome, so poetic, and it just makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside when you listen to it. So that is definitely one that I have always loved, and I love that song so much. Like, if there was one song I would want to have with me if I were to like be stranded on a desert island or something like that, it would absolutely be that song. It's so beautiful. And the best feeling is just like when you're outside in the summer, sitting in the sunshine, and you're just playing that song over like your headphones or like your speakers, and it's just so gorgeous. Like, it makes you feel like you're in a different world. It makes you feel so loved and so good about yourself.
What's going on, guys? JD here with something hanging out of my ear like I don't know how to make a YouTube video. I do, but my microphone isn't wanting to cooperate without a big buzzing sound, so we're going to record it like this, and hopefully the audio sounds presentable. I am from the YouTube channel History in the Mix, so I have done these before and never used this. But over there I talk more about Michael Jackson and the Beatles and stuff like that. And not Prince, because I don't know a lot about Prince. I haven't seen Purple Rain, I haven't done any of that. I've maybe heard Kiss on the radio once or twice. I know. But the thing is, I listened to Emancipation, and I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to talk about it with you guys and tell you all my six top favorite tracks that I picked. So let's see what this unexperienced boy, has to say about this album. The number one song that I picked was In This Bed I Scream. It was kind of an 80s sounding track, which I enjoyed because Michael back there and this good old Back to the Future poster right here. But overall, it was a really good song that I enjoyed. One thing that I really am a sucker for is a good sound mix. And so hearing Prince's multi-track vocals on both sides of the headphones that I was listening to them on was really cool to hear. I really loved that. And overall, one thing I did notice with this album is that how awesome it's mixed. And, you know, I'm a sucker for mixing history. I'm sorry.
My second pick is In This Bed I Scream. We kind of know that Prince wasn't always the easiest person to like get along with on a personal level. Like, he didn't always communicate well verbally to people that he was close to. And he lost a lot of relationships over the years and friendships, probably mostly because of that. This is his apology to Wendy and Lisa and Susanna 10 years after he broke up their revolution. And imagine how complex and complicated and crazy that was. You know, they were so close, and he was engaged to Susanna, and they were the biggest band in the world. And then he breaks them up at sort of the prime and breaks up with Susanna, and you get all this incredible music out of it, but their relationship was really never the same again. And I think it's probably fair to say that he never apologized to them in person, or probably had too many heart-to-heart conversations or like that with them about how that all went down and how messy it was, because that's just not the kind of guy that he was. But the kind of guy that he was to do that in the form of a song. And In This Bed I Scream is that song. Not only is it an incredible song, incredible production, apparently it was made by Prince hearing some feedback from his guitar and then building a groove around it, but it's a personal, intimate song that references the era. It says, how can we stop the rain from coming down? And it's just a confessional apology song, and it's brilliant. It's an absolutely brilliant song. I love it. One interesting fact about it is that he actually apparently sent it to Wendy and Lisa and asked for input on it, and they gave some suggestions, and then he didn't use any of those suggestions. So maybe that was just his way of wanting to make sure that they definitely heard it. Either way, incredible song.
So my second pick off of Emancipation is going to be Mr. Happy. Make you feel good, right? Take care of you, Mr. Happy, all day and night. It has a sexy, funky feel to it. It makes me kind of just feel that like grimy, sexy, funky, you know, at least for me. So, yes, my second pick is Mr. Happy, because if he can't make you feel right, I don't know what to tell ya.
My second choice is a song called Saviour. Now, disc 2 of Emancipation is very much a love letter to my Tay, and it's one of the most romantic albums Prince ever created. There are some truly mesmerising lines here. Like, how did I ever come this far without you, babe? What was I thinking? What was I trying to be? And it talks about being two petals from the same rose. It's just pure romance, and it builds and builds like all great Prince songs into this crescendo. By the end of it, you are exhausted, exuberated, energized. It is just such a pure, open-hearted, romantic, genuine adoration of love expression. It's just something that you can play, and it's universal. And whenever you've been in love, and truly deeply in love, this is one of those songs that just expresses that so well.
My second pick is just another phenomenal, stunning song, The Love We Make. What can you say about this track? It's absolutely phenomenal. I loved it so much at the time when I first heard it. And it's one of those tracks now that as I've got older and I'm growing, you start to experience some of the badder things that happen in life, unfortunately. And this track is really a source of strength and one I go to a lot, especially the lyric. And Prince says, happy is a way to meet your burdens, no matter how heavy or dark the day. Pity those with no hope for tomorrow. It's never as bad as it seems until we say. I mean, oh God, it's just genius. Just such a beautiful track. Apparently Prince wrote it for Wendy and Susanna's brother, Jonathan Melvoin, who died of an overdose the same year as Emancipation came out. And Prince said he used it to communicate with his spirit. So it's a phenomenal track, really good. And Prince's vocal at the end, he just lets it all go, and the hairs stand up on the back of your neck. It's just incredible. Oh, what a track.
My second pick is, and this might come as a surprise to you, but my second pick is Sleep Around. And the reason why I love this song is because it's really, really funky, but it's also like, it gives you the feel of like the time that the album was made in, if that makes sense. Like, I love the lyrics, I love how cheeky it is, I love how Prince during the 90s to me is just Prince at his absolute wildest, like lyrical wise. Like, you know how 80s Prince was like the super wild Prince and like not afraid of anyone and this rude boy, and just loved him so much in the 80s as well. But Prince in the 90s to me is like, especially during the Emancipation era, it's like free, like wild and free, like wild and not restricted, like doing whatever the fuck he wants, singing about whatever he wanted to sing about. And I think that's the beauty about Sleep Around, because it's so cheeky and I love it. And it's really funky, like it's super danceable. If you play that in a club, people will absolutely get down to it. I guarantee that to you. Like any Prince party I've been to and someone has played Sleep Around, people just love it.
Now, one thing listening to this album that I thought was that it was released around the same, well, it was released in the same year. I haven't really done any research on it, but that Michael Jackson released History. So, giving myself a little context to give myself a headspace of where this was, I kind of compared this to the History album a little bit. And this song, and the second track though, Curious Child, it's a lot like Little Susie, which is a Michael Jackson song from the History album. But the thing is, it's actually a decent song to listen to. The drums on here were really super good. It had a very soft and haunting vocal delivery from Prince that I also really liked. But looking at the lyrics, it was a lot shorter. I use Apple Music to listen to my music, so I went down there and I looked at the lyrics on every song. And I saw that this one didn't have very many lyrics, which, you don't really have to have a lot of lyrics if it's a good song.
My third pick, Joint to Joint. Joint to Joint is one of those incredible funk, synth, hip-hop, R&B, freaky, weird, nutso, unique pop Prince workouts. Like, it's just like throws everything in the bag and just comes out with a just insanely funky, awesome track. I just love it. It has everything. I mean, it's just epic. There's something just like really unique and weird and cool and awesome about Joint to Joint. Like I can't imagine anybody other than Prince making that song. And that's what I love about it. Just unique, genius, crazy Prince-ness. And you think you're my soulmate, but you don't even know what kind of cereal I like. Wrong. Captain Crunch. Soy milk.
So for my third pick off of Emancipation, we're going to slow it down a little bit. This is a song that the first time I heard it, it was like, oh my gosh, it was such a feeling. You know, you just get these feelings. Some songs have to grow on you, and some songs it's just from moment one. Well, Somebody was that song. Because everybody wants to be somebody sometime, right? So my third pick is Somebody's Somebody.
My third choice is one of the most fantastic protest songs Prince has ever done, Face Down. That's my third pick. I think Face Down is brilliant, hilarious, kind of spiteful in a brilliant way. It's really getting back at this kind of argument he had with Warner Brothers about wanting to be free, about wanting to put out the music he wanted to put out in the volumes he wanted to put it out. And there's some great lines where Prince talks about, they said that you'd never let Prince go through the ringer, let him go down as a washed up singer. Ain't that a thinking all along that he wanted to be rich, never respected the root of all evil, and they still don't to this day. And I think there's something powerful when he talks about Dead Like Elvis, which is this little kind of loop that goes on throughout this drum beat. And there's a performance on Chris Rock, which is fantastic. There's a minimalism, there's a humour when he sort of shouts orchestra, and it's just this little kind of tiny, just tiny little refrain, which is so understated and subdued. It's Prince really expressing the power of the importance that he was, that this thing he was going through, this battle with Warner Brothers, which people at the time just did not understand, they didn't appreciate, and now they're looking at it and saying, oh, we get it now. We understand what he was doing. He was fighting for artists' rights. This seems so obvious now, and other artists are really appreciating that and realising that he was, as usual, really ahead of the game.
My third pick is from this too, and it's Saviour, another song that's really personal to me. This is the song I had as the first dance on my wedding. Me and my wife just really identify with the lyrics. Again, Prince talking about, being like two petals from the same flower, two branches from the same tree. Whenever I look in your eyes, I see a paradise. You're my saviour. You're all I ever need. You just, perfect. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. And I love at the end as well. It has this another sort of guitar bit that doesn't really get talked about, and it just sort of rises, gets higher, and then you get this bit that goes ding 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 ding, and as that's happening, Prince comes in and goes, "Why did I come this far with it?" Oh, it's like a racing car coming through, and it's just amazing. And I love that bit of the track. It's amazing. It has a crazy ending as well, where Prince just screams and the guitar goes mad again. It's just incredible stuff. I love this song so much. Saviour, but just fantastic.
So now for my third pick, it's actually I have the single for this year, and I didn't remember that up until now. So I was like looking for like this Emancipation CD, and then I found the single for this one just in my closet. I think Casey gave this to me, which is really, really awesome. But this is Betcha by Golly Wow. Even though this is a cover, I think he sings it so, so well because, around this time when he was writing Emancipation, he was getting ready to become a new dad, and not knowing what would happen after like the really, really tragic thing that happened. And I feel like I relate to it so much because I was born in 97 and Prince's baby was then born in 1996, so just a few months before I was born. So he was just like getting ready for that and like seeing all the wonder in the world and seeing all the wonder that would come with him then like becoming a father of this beautiful child. And I think you can really hear that in Betcha by Golly Wow. Like his way of singing it, it's like the way he sings it, it's just so like it's really, really touching, especially when you listen back to it and you think about what happened, and like what sort of state he was in at that time, not knowing what was going to happen. It's just so beautiful. Like to me it feels like him waiting to like find something that he can love so, so deeply that he feels the way that he's singing about in that cover of that song. And I just feel like those are the perfect lyrics there. And oh my god, the video clip for it, do you know that, like, you obviously all know that, but before that, had you ever seen Prince wearing like a normal kind of outfit, like jeans and a t-shirt? He was in scrubs, for God's sake, but it was beautiful. You know, the whole story with Maite, where like Prince would like hop in the car at the beginning of the video clip, and then Maite was obviously pregnant, about to give birth, and then like Prince got a call from her, and he like rushed down, and all the dancers, and oh my God, it's just so beautiful. Like that song really, really makes me happy. So that's definitely the third one on my list.
Number 3 is Slave, which I actually have heard of. It's very similar to a Michael song, just purely on those ad-libs. Maybe that's just me, this unexperienced boy, but there were very good backing vocals, and overall, you know, Prince took these lyrics and made it an upbeat pop song, which it was awesome and very impressive, and I really did like it.
My 4th pick is The Holy River. Now, I'm not a hugely like spiritual person. I'm definitely not religious. I don't really have a religion. But the Holy River's message is just like so beautiful and heartfelt, and it's just so powerful to me. Like, even as a person that is not particularly, you know, spiritual or anything like that, it still really resonates with me just because of how emotional it is and how much belief there is from Prince about the subject matter and what he's singing about. It's just a beautiful song. I think it's really underrated. I think it's one of the best songs in his catalog, certainly his 90s catalog. It's up there. I just love The Holy River. What can I say?
So my number 4 pick is gonna be friend, lover, sister, mother, wife. You know, Prince had his love songs that, you know, the sexual, sensual love songs, and then he had like true, like heartfelt, endearing love songs. And this is definitely one of those songs, if you are in love and you're embracing it and you want to let the other person know that they are your everything. And of course, who don't want to know that? And especially the way Prince conveys it. Yeah, this is just a really good, heartfelt, like, song if you are in that, you know, that kind of love, you know, conditions of the hot mode. But yeah, so friend, lover, sister, mother, wife is my number 4 pick of Emancipation.
My 4th choice is a track called The Love We Make. Now, I think this is probably going to be one of the most popular choices on this video. I don't know anybody else's choices, but this is the song that really, although it wasn't appreciated at the time, became such an important Prince song and a real crowd pleaser when he played it at Montreux. And there's so many times when you listen to this song and it's incredibly powerful. Some of the lyrics you look at, you know, desperate is the day that is tomorrow. For those who do not know, the time has come to whip the dogs that beg, steal or borrow from the table God set for his son. And Prince talks about what is essentially a Prince motto: the only love there is the love we make. We have to create this love. We have to make this love. It doesn't just happen. The small acts, the big acts, this is how we change the world. And Prince's message of love for one another is something that permeates well beyond his music. And it's about love being an active verb, about being something we do, something we create, something we have to make. And it's so powerful. It's quite a minimalist song, but it builds and builds and swirls. And there's one kind of verse right near the end where Prince powers out his baritone and he really lifts it and it just goes to the gods. It really is just an incredible performance. And it's something that's so powerful, so resonant. And I think it's one of those songs that as time goes on, people are going to love even more and more. And people who aren't Prince fans really need to hear this.
My 4th pick is an absolute craziest, funkiest, mad tune you'll ever hear. Joint to Joint, again from Disc 2. This track is one of those, I've said before, can only come from Prince's brain. It's just utter genius. It has this incredible funky symphony of that you just, it's so damn cool. And oh God, it just gets in your head. And, you know, till this day, no one can do a song that's about safe sex and include tap dancing and turntable scratching and eating a bowl of cereals and make it work. I mean, it's just absolute madness, but it's just a masterpiece. It's just pure Prince genius, you know. You don't love me, you're a faker. You just want me for my acres.
I would say that my fourth pick, and I should have maybe put this one as the first pick, but I just cannot, like, they're like highly competitive with each other in my book. So my fourth pick is The Love We Make. Like, how beautiful is that song, honestly? Like, it's just, I think, to be fair, it's one of the most beautiful songs I have ever heard or that's ever been written. Like, it's so beautiful. This really showcases Prince being the lyrical genius that I can never say was. I always want to say is, you know, because even though he is gone now, his music and like his spirit is still around. So you can still really, really feel that, especially when listening to songs like that. Like, he was just so like, he had such a different view on the world, and it's just beautiful to just like sit there, listen to the lyrics, and musically it's so beautiful as well. Like, it's so complete. It's just such a gorgeous song. I love it so, so much. So I should have maybe put that one as my first one, but in my mind, it always competes with Soul Sanctuary. Like, they're probably my most favorite songs on Emancipation, even though I put a couple of other ones before this one, because I was like, I love the ballads, but I love the slower songs, I love the ballads, but I also love the faster songs, and oh my god, they're all really, really good. So this is really difficult for me. Like, I would have wanted to pick like all the songs on the album, honestly.
My number 4 pick is a track called The Love You Make, which overall what won this for me, not even the song per se, it was the songwriting that really sold this to me. The vocal track is really good, but the songwriting was amazing, and I very much enjoyed that. Probably one of the best written songs on the album, songwriting wise, I would say.
5th pick, Sleep Around. Can't listen to it without just having like a huge like smile on my face. It's just such an infectious groove. There's just so much bounce to it, and those horns, and this incredible. It's Prince obviously valued this song quite a lot. If you watch our interview with H.M. Buff, who engineered the record, he talks about Prince sort of bringing in various engineers and spending more time on this song than others to kind of get it right. He clearly felt that this was going to be an important song, and it's just so funky and danceable, and I love it. It's like the melody is incredible. There's the switch between where the verse and like just like the arrangement of the verse into the pre-chorus and the chorus, and where the horns come in, the mix, everything about. Just love it. I absolutely love it.
So my number 5 pick is going to be New World. We're going to get deep with it. What does he say? When the sharpest vibration saves you from obliteration. You know, this song, he talks about all the things that are going on in our world, how they track us through our gizmos and gadgets aplenty, how there's a pill for everything, how the melting pot is being stirred. You know, the lines are being blurred, and basically like, how will we handle this new world, you know? And I think the main message here is just pure love for one another and acceptance of one another through all this, that the powers that shouldn't be are putting us through. So my number 5 pick is definitely New World.
My 5th choice is a track called White Mansion. Now, Prince rarely looks back on his career in his records, but he does do it in a few tracks. But here, he's playing the part of a young artist who hasn't quite made it, and he's warning this artist almost, which is himself, about the importance of artists' rights, about being not exploited by the record companies. And he talks about the kind of things that record companies want you to do, like they want you to cut your hair, sell your publishing rights. And there's a great line where Prince says, "Sell my publishing, what a laugh. I don't know Bo, but I do know math." And then it's this idea that he is also going back to Minneapolis. There's a back to Minneapolis, there you go, can't find your house underneath the snow. And it's these dreams of a big white mansion, and one day Prince is going to make it, and he's going to wear Gucci, Versace, and all the latest fashions, and people are going to appreciate his work. Now, this dream came true for Prince through enormous talent, hard work, and the enormous creativity he had. But here he's looking at it as, how it could have been just a dream that didn't come to fruition. But there's something amazing and something quite moving about Prince's story, that here he is singing about hopefully one day having this big white mansion. And of course, Prince did have a big white mansion, indeed the biggest white mansion of all, Paisley Park.
My fifth pick is My Computer from Disc Free. This is another just fantastic track. It's quite unusual. It does feature Kate Bush on the backing vocals, but not until kind of the end of the track, and only for a very short segment. But you can hear her in there. She's very little bit in the mix, but her voice is just ringing out on the chorus. It would have been great if she'd had more input in it, but you know, it's still a fabulous song. I love the fact that as I've got older and become a father, the lyrics mean so much more to me when Prince sings about, you know, evilly incorporated, blowing up bombs and things. I have a child. I have a lot to explain. Oh boy, that lyric is just so good. I just love this song. Again, I say the music's quite unusual, and I love the bit at the end. It just goes on this long, funky bit at the end where it goes, a better life, a better life, a better life. It goes on, but down, 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 a better life, a better life. It's just fantastic. And Simps going in, over the top of that, and it's just incredible funky end to this great track. And Prince even includes the, I think it was the voice from the AOL email thing at the beginning, at the end of the track. No, goodbye. Great track.
The fifth song that I'm going to pick here and that I'm going to be talking to you about a little bit why I picked it is Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Father. The reason why I love this song is, I don't know, it's just like him singing to like someone he really, really loved, isn't it? And I feel like that's always a thing for me, because the thing with any like super good artist, especially when you're on Prince's level and you're just a genius and like no one else is on that level, you feel like, you know, even when they're singing about someone else and they've written the song with someone else in mind that they were maybe in love with at the time, or definitely were in love with at the time, because we all know who that song was about. You know, it makes you feel like they could be like singing about you, or like a love that you're going through at that time. Like, it's something that I can really, really relate to, and I feel like it's a really relatable song to like the rest of the public as well, if we can call it that, because everyone like runs into someone like that once in their life at least, or I would at least really, really hope everyone does, because it's just the best feeling in the world. And it's just, God, I just love that song so much. And the other thing that I love about it is that it has little bits and pieces of Crucial in there. So when it starts, you can hear like the little things. I'm like, you know, how Crucial did end up coming out on Crystal Ball, but I just love how he like reused some of that, like got some of his older stuff back out, reused it, and then put it in there, because you can really, really hear it. Like, listen closely and you can absolutely hear it. So yeah, I love that song.
My number 5 pick is one that I think people may disagree with me on, maybe not. Courting Time. I love music like this, and maybe I'm biased, but what could I compare this to? Maybe a Frank Sinatra, old school song, and it was really, it really took me back. Listening to this album all the way through, because that's not something I would expect to hear from somebody like Prince, listening to like Kiss and stuff, you know. I feel like he's more of an upbeat type 80s pop, well, not even 80s, but just a pop guy. And to hear a throwback song like this was awesome. It was such a change of pace in the album. And it sounds like if you lower the quality, maybe, that this could have been a song that came from the time period that I'm guessing Prince was inspired by or wanted to represent with this song, which I'm all for. And it was really, really very, very well done, very well inspired. And overall, I don't think there's, with the concept he was going for, I just think it was brilliant.
My 6th and final pick is My Computer. Now, not only is it a great song, it has Kate Bush on it. And I love Kate Bush. And Prince and Kate Bush on the same song, just forget about it. It's over. Just that's all I need. I mean, okay, I would have liked Kate's vocals to be a little bit higher in the mix and maybe given her a lead somewhere, but whatever. Like, her vocal tone is so beautiful. Prince's vocal tone is incredible. Prince, to have those things together on the same song, that's a gift. And it's also just so 90s. I mean, the AOL samples and just lyrics and sitting at my computer looking for a site, and it just reminds me of those 90s computers. Like, I made a sticker, then I call it my computer. You can kind of see it there. Can you see that? Yeah, I've got the logo over it, but yeah, I made an old computer sticker with a Prince logo on it, and I called it my computer. And that's what I think of when I hear that song. It's just a really, really cool song. It's not like trying to be something. It's not like big and flashy. It's just low key and chill. And it just sits perfectly on the album where it is. So those are my 6 picks. Now, I didn't go into this wanting to pick 2 songs from each disc. That's just kind of what happened. And it was really difficult. There was some that I agonized over. But there it is. Those are my 6 picks.
Somebody once told him that he wouldn't take Prince to the ringer. Let him go down as a washed-up singer. Ain't that a... My final pick is a song and video that is so deep on so many levels. Face Down. Just like Elvis. This song is, yes, it's deep, but it's super funky too. The bass line is so funky. The horns are amazing. The beat itself, hearing Prince rap, hearing him just get grimy in your face, like, you know. So yeah, my final pick is Face Down. I'm out of here, my purple family. Thank you again, Kim and Casey, for having me. Much love, peace, love, and positivity. Be wild.
My 6th choice is a track called One Kiss at a Time. Now, let's be clear, this is romance. This is pure, beautiful, mature seduction. There is a verse to me which is one of the best verses, the most sensuous verses Prince has ever created. This is something that every girl should know. Every part of you comes alive when you take it slow. And every nervous twitch that happens when my tongue is there, your lips up and down your back and every single hair. It all makes up the beauty of your grand design. Every man has got a duty, and tonight I want to do mine. It is beautiful. It is just so elegant, so amazing. It's Prince really giving himself to a woman, dedicating himself to making her happy, to have this beautiful, spiritual, sexual, sensuous connection, this romantic vibe. This is just, no one wrote lyrics like this. Prince understood women in a way that few people ever have, and it is just knee-meltingly good. It is remarkable. It is beautiful. So my final choice, One Kiss at a Time.
My 6th and final pick is Dreaming About You from Disc 2. Oh, what a track. It's just super chilled, beautiful, beautiful track. You listen to this, you think Prince must have been in the studio with candles and incense and honey and shit going on, you know. It's just like, you know, it's so chilled out. I mean, you've got Rhonda Smith on bass, you've got Eric Lee's on sax, and it's just, Prince does this kind of, you know, almost a whisper, speaking so softly some of the lyrics in the track, and it's almost hypnotic. And you've got that along with his falsetto. It's just amazing. Some beautiful kind of fingery picking acoustic guitar going on in the background. It just washes over you. It's just so chilled. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful track, you know. I really do love this one so much. You got to check it out. Dreaming About You.
So for my 6th pick, and this is why you should have given me like 10 or 12 or the whole album, one that I really could not live without is The Holy River. Like, how beautiful is that song? Oh my god, it's like so self-reflective if you listen to it. It's like him just like looking at himself in the mirror saying, look, like, I see you, I know what you're going through, and I'm going to sing to you to like make it better. It's just, it's so beautiful. Again, accompanied with the most beautiful video clip. His aesthetic was so gorgeous around that time. Like, it's not like it hasn't always been like that, but it's just, there's just something about it that I just love it so much. Oh my god. It's such a gorgeous song, and the thing that I like about it as well is that it's quite a religious song. And now I'm not a very religious person myself, or like not at all, but for any religious people out there, or like people in the comments, do you like feel a different kind of way when you listen to this song? I would love to know that, because the way that I feel is that it's like really wholesome. It's kind of like, it's almost gospel in a way as well, like especially the last part of it. And I just think it's self-reflective, and it's just, God, like, how do you know yourself so well that you can sing a song like that, basically about yourself? Because that's what it reads as to me. That's what the lyrics read as. And the music is really, really gorgeous. Well, like the thing with Prince is just like, he has the most beautifully composed music, and then he also has the most beautiful lyrics. He was just like the whole package all in one. And also his style during this era was amazing. So, Style! I forgot to mention Style. Oh my God, that's also a really good song. But I only got to pick 6 of them.
Now, number 6 is a little track called One of Us, which had a nice relaxing guitar. One thing I wrote in my notes here was relaxing, that I really liked. It's very rocky though, not Balboa, but very rocky, as in I could hear like Freddie Mercury or somebody like that singing it. The lyrics about God and stuff like that were very cool. Overall, that's how I would describe the song. Cool. Because it just comes off with the swagger that I really liked. And especially with that vocal delivery, I would love to hear a Freddie Mercury cover of this. I'm sorry, I hate to keep comparing all these tracks to somebody else, but not knowing much about Prince, I kind of have to appreciate the songs enough. But somebody like Freddie Mercury singing this would be awesome. But Prince, even though, you know, that I don't think I know enough to really make this call, but he really did make it sound like his own, even though he did write it and everything, I get that, but he really owned it, you know, with his vocal delivery. So that is my top 6 picks for Emancipation. If you'd like to hear me talk more about various albums that I actually do know what I'm talking about, History in the Mix is the way to go for that. My YouTube channel, where I rank Michael Jackson albums and talk about the latest news. But if you're more of a Beatles guy or gal, I run a podcast called A Submarine That's Yellow, where all I do is talk about the Beatles with my closest teenage friends, and it's just a pretty fun time. So thank you guys for letting me be a part of this project. I had so much fun listening to this album and learning more about a topic that I really didn't know much about. And I hope that I didn't make too many people mad and had acceptable picks. And I hope to work with y'all again. So let's pass it over to whoever else is on this video, and I can stop making myself sound like a commercial. Okay. Let's go.
So there you have it, folks. That's the Emancipation Challenge. 6 people picked 6 songs each, and together we got a total of 22 songs selected from the 36 on the album. Now, the reason we picked 6 people and 6 songs is because if everybody had picked a unique set of songs, then that would have covered the whole album, would have covered all 36 songs. So obviously that was never going to happen, but we wanted to see how much ground we'd cover, and I think 22 out of 36, it's basically 2 of the discs, is pretty solid, and thus proving that even if you couldn't ever get Emancipation down to a 1 CD, you could actually get to a 2 CD, and most people would be pretty happy with that. Interesting to note that the split across discs was pretty even. We had 7 songs selected from disc 1, 8 from disc 2, and 7 from disc 3, so pretty much the same across all the discs, with the second disc having the slight edge. The Love We Make was the most popular song chosen. 4 people out of the 6 chose The Love We Make, including JD, which shows that it has appeal amongst not just the hardcore Prince fans, but even people that are new fans and never heard the album before. Seems like Prince was probably aware of that himself. After all, it's one of the few songs from Emancipation that was still being played, you know, pretty much up until the end. Next most popular song was The Holy River. 3 out of the 6 people voted for The Holy River. Again, very interesting to note. Somebody, Somebody, In This Bed I Scream, Joint to Joint, Sleep Around, My Computer, Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife, Face Down, Dreaming About You, and Savior all got 2 votes each. The amount of songs that got more than 1 vote is 11. Now, there's a lot of shared ground amongst the 5 out of the 6 people who are Prince YouTubers. Pretty much everything that people picked had some choices in common with one of the other Prince YouTubers. Whereas JD picked 4 songs that nobody else chose at all. Not exactly sure what that shows. Maybe it's that as Prince fans and historians and people who are sort of aware of every part of his life and career, maybe knowing the context around some things gives them more relevance or something like that, or having lived with the songs for a long time, we have a sort of shared commonality of ones we keep coming back to. It's very interesting to think about. Now, not one person picked the title track Emancipation, which is super interesting. So Prince was the guy that believed in strong title tracks. I mean, I could just reel off a list and you'll see 1999, Controversy, Purple Rain, Diamonds and Pearls, Sign of the Times. Prince was the guy that pretty much always had really strong album title tracks, to the point where he even wrote a song called Shockadelica when he heard that Jesse Johnson had an album called Shockadelica without a song of that name, and called Jesse, offered him the song and said every album needs a strong title track. That's the story behind that song. So for Emancipation to not be chosen by anyone is really, really interesting. And I have a theory about why that is. So Emancipation, I mean, number one, Prince said it was the album he was born to make, which is a huge concept. But the concept itself of emancipation, breaking the chains, freedom, that sort of thing, it's such a powerful, such a weighty concept that I think it would be very, very hard for any song to sort of do justice to that concept. And the fact that it's not a ballad, it's not sort of a power ballad like Purple Rain, it's sort of upbeat, light, funky pop song. I just think that maybe the song just struggled to carry the weight of the concept. And I don't think anybody's saying that it's a bad song. It just doesn't stand up to some of the tracks on the rest of the album. All of the singles from the album received more than one vote, except for Betcha by Golly Wow, which received one vote. But they were all represented amongst the 6 people, which is really interesting. And so there's either two things that could possibly be. So number one, very simply, they picked the right singles for this project, and then they picked some of the strongest songs as singles. Or number two, the fact that they were singles gives them more importance and more weight in the minds of the fan community. That's something that's possible as well. You know, being a long-term fan, you have so many memories with different songs, and when songs are singles and when they were promoted as singles, and you have music videos to sort of consider in the back of your mind, and live performances, and maybe you saw something on TV, Prince doing Holy River or something like that on TV, and maybe that weights into, it's all these sort of subliminal things that you would think, oh no, I just really like the song, but maybe there's somewhere in your mind that singles factors into your choices. I don't know. It could be a combination of both. Let me know what you think. To further that theory, as a new listener and a new fan, JD, none of the songs he picked were singles, and I would venture to say he probably has no idea, apart from me just mentioning it, which of the songs were singles, given that he just listened to the album for the first time. So that's very interesting to note that. Both of the women in the group picked Friend, Lover, Sister, Mother, Wife, and none of the guys did. Now, I think everyone probably agrees that it's a fantastic song, but as a song that is pretty much the ultimate ode to womanhood, and Prince is the only male singer that could write the ultimate ode to womanhood, maybe it's a song that carries more weight listening to it as a woman. Very possible. What do you think about that theory? To conclude, I think my original hypothesis is definitely correct. You could never make a 1 CD Emancipation, and it's pointless to even try, because nobody's going to agree with you. You're going to have no agreement. A 2 CD? Yeah, we could do that. We could do a 2 CD. We've proven that a 2 CD is possible, but I think we should all be very grateful, and I think we all are very grateful for the just sheer amount of music that Prince put out into the world. So, with that being said, we're glad we don't have to make those decisions of what songs to cut. And Emancipation is a 3-disc, all good. We're happy that he did it his own way. Emancipation re-release is coming out next month, September 2019, including on vinyl for the very first time. That packaging on vinyl, that's going to be amazing. We're really looking forward to that. So get your pre-orders in or wait till it comes out, get it then. It's definitely going to be one to pick up. Shout outs to Kim Camilia, Nightchild, Mr. Ants, PeaceLove, JD. Make sure you all go and subscribe to all of their channels, links in the description below. And thank you for watching our very first collaboration video here at The Violet Reality. We're just so happy to have been able to do this and collaborate with so many awesome people. Once again, this has been the Emancipation Challenge. Drop your top 6 from Emancipation in the comments below, and we'll definitely give them a read and check them out. Thanks again for watching, and make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. My name's Casey Rain. Our channel is The Violet Reality. We'll catch you next time. Peace and be wild.
Hi, I'm Elisa Fiorillo, and you're watching The Violet Reality on YouTube. All things Prince!